Hello everyone, this is Tengu, and welcome back to another Bloodborne boss drawing. In the last episode, we completed our journey through Cainhurst Castle, and have now worked our way back to the unseen village of Yahar'ghul. We've entered into the village from a different spot than last time, and we now have a much more elevated perspective. The area is now filled with inhabitants, just not human ones. Villagers wander the streets, crafted from dark blood arts, and towering great ones cling to the sides of buildings, some of which are aggressive, firing explosive beams of light down at us. This nightmare of a village has taken on a whole new form, and our actions played a great part in it. Yahar'ghul has been a very closed-off section of Yharnam, and the dealings there were kept hidden from the larger population. The area has been run by the school of Mensis, where they carried out obscene experiments in the hopes of summoning or perhaps even creating a great one. Little did we know that the vacuous spider Ram was keeping this ritual at bay, and by killing it, we allowed the Mensis ritual to succeed. The ritual caused the school of Mensis to be pulled into a nightmare world, but the fate of the rest of the inhabitants of the village was far worse. When we reach what was once the entrance to the school of Mensis, we see the end result. A dark mass hangs over us, and a new creature emerges. It is a mass of grotesque limbs that have taken on a life of their own. The citizens have been twisted into this monstrosity and have become the One Reborn. As the boss fight begins, it is important to take note of your surroundings. Bell chime maidens are standing up in the surrounding buildings, providing support to the boss, and should be dealt with first. Climb the stairs at the back of the arena and take them out one by one. Watch for attacks from the boss as you do. Once dealt with, make your way back down to take the One Reborn on directly. I find it best to attack the boss from the side, between two of the larger legs, although it can be difficult at times to make out what's on this boss. Try to keep an eye out for when the boss collapses, and you can reach the main figure that casts spells from on top. Attacking the caster will deal significant damage. You can also try plunging attacks on the boss from one of the balconies, but I find the results can be unreliable depending on where you land. As the boss is weakened, there are a couple of attacks that you need to watch out for, or the fight will be over very quickly. The caster on top will use his Rain of Flesh attack, which causes body parts to rain down, following after you. Stay on the move when this starts, and pay attention to the sounds the boss makes while casting this, in order to see it coming in the future. The other major threat is a vomit attack that will flood the arena and deal heavy damage to anyone standing in it. Run as quickly as you can to higher ground, and wait for the vomit to dissipate before going back in for the kill. Don't forget to buff your weapon with fire or bolt paper to deal some extra damage, and you should take this boss down in no time. When it came to our gear for the fight, I thought it was time to put on the Yahar'ghul set. We actually picked this set up in our initial run through the area, but I decided to save it for this fight, knowing we would return. This thick black garment was worn by the hunters of the unseen village, who answered to the village's founders, the school of Mensis. Hunters in name only, these kidnappers blend into the night. Designed primarily to defend against physical attacks, the binding of thick rope serves both to protect its wearer and restrain its foes. I think it likely that those kidnapped also fell victim to the Mensis ritual, along with their detainers. It's also very likely that the amalgams of body parts that attack us before the boss fight are likely failed attempts at what eventually became the One Reborn, and they are made up of those kidnapped. For our weapon, I went with a suggestion I got to use the saw spear. It has been available to us since our first time entering into Central Yharnam, but hadn't made it into a video until now. This saw, effective at drawing the blood of beasts, transforms into a medium-range spear. The saw, with its set of bloodletting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt, and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. I decided to follow the suggestion all the way, and buff the weapon with some fire paper to help us bring down the boss. With the One Reborn down, our path now leads back to the Nightmare Lecture Building, into the Nightmare of Mensis. Many a horror awaits us as we track down the host of the nightmare, Mikolash. We are entering into the final area of the main game, but we do still have the Old Hunters DLC to finish as well. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the drawing. Don't forget to let me know what weapon and attire you would like to see used against Mikolash, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.